Guys, I'm going to Europe. Oh my god, oh my god. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So today I'm gonna tell you guys where I'm going on my solo trip. By the time I upload this video, I would have already left. Basically, I'm gonna be uploading this video on Friday. I think today's Friday for you guys. I have probably reached Europe. Yes, that's right. I'm going to Europe on a solo trip. Like every time I say Europe, something really I get like this. Yeah, this is like my first ever solo backpacking trip, guys. Like before this, I have never ever done like a solo backpacking trip. Okay, like I've been to places for work alone, but for work it's different. But like for leisure purposes and just like traveling and like exploring and everything, I've never ever This actually started off as a joke in my family. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, I think about a month back I put this story on where I was asking my family for donation to help me get to Iceland, and as a joke my dad put some money in it, and that's when I thought, what if I take this joke a little further and just pressurize them into sending me to Europe for real. Actually, that was the time when my brother had just come from his Europe trip. He went there for student exchange program, and he had like 10 days extra to himself, and then he like explored the areas around. So when I got like really excited about it, because my brother is 5 years younger to me, then I gave them thoda sa independent wala, I have to get independent in life. I have to travel, I have to explore, I have to be like independent. I have never traveled. That's when my dad was also like, let her go. Okay, whatever, like just stop talking. Like all of a sudden I planned this trip, and all of a sudden my parents agreed to send me to Europe, and all of a sudden like everything happened. So I was like, let's go, like why leave the opportunity? If I'm getting an opportunity to go, then why leave it, like why? And so yeah, I thought I should just sit down and tell you guys about how I planned my solo trip. So I did everything myself, obviously, because I gave my parents that being independent wala speech. I did have some help from my brother and dad, obviously, like because I've never done all the visa application and all of that by myself before. So yeah, if you guys are also planning for a solo trip abroad, then it's not very difficult. It might look really difficult in the beginning, like all the visa process and bookings and all of that. Things first, do not be intimidated by the entire planning and booking hostels and booking flight tickets, and all of this can be very overwhelming, and you wouldn't really understand what you should go for first, and what you should book first, if you should go for flights, if you should look for hostels, if you should look for bus tickets, train tickets. And you need to like organize yourself and plan according to like the entire trip that you will be taking. So you need to like finalize the locations that you'll be traveling to. The Europe visa, which is the Schengen visa, you anyway require your entire itinerary and travel tickets and your flight tickets, your stay tickets, and your interconnected travel tickets, and all of that have to be booked in advance, so that before you apply, you already have to give all of those things to them. The first thing that I did when I was making my itinerary was that I chalked out all the countries that I wanted to visit in this trip, and how much time I'm going to be spending in each of these countries. I'm going to Prague, Austria, I'm going to Amsterdam, and then I'm going to Paris, and Paris to Mumbai. So that's my entire itinerary for now, and I'm going to be spending approximately 4 days in each of these countries. So you have to look at a lot of factors when you're planning a solo trip abroad. You have to see the weather conditions, you have to see like the connectivity, you have to see if it really is like a safe place if you're a girl, especially to travel alone. And once I had all my countries and cities planned out, I started looking for flight tickets. The website that I used the most for booking my international flight tickets is skyscanner.com. This website is also like Make My Trip and yatra.com and all these other websites where you can see a lot of different options when it comes to picking one particular flight from one destination to the other. So you get a lot of options and you get a lot of different flights in that. It's a good website to book your short distance interconnected Europe flights. So I booked like 2 or 3 of my flights from skyscanner.com, and I got a good deal on those flights as well. But you have to be very careful. A lot of these short distance flights do not offer baggage, so you have to see carefully. Like you'll get flight options for about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees, but you won't have baggage in that, so you have to pay extra 25 to I think 30 euros for your baggage. So just be very careful. So if you have to go to a shorter distance where there is no flight connectivity, you obviously have to take a bus or a train. So Go Euro is the best website for that. Then once I had all my bus tickets, my train tickets and my flight tickets sorted, I started looking out for hostels. So the best website for booking your hostel is hostelworld.com. There are a few things that you have to keep in mind before you book a hostel. First thing is that if you're comfortable staying in a mixed dorm, book a mixed dorm. But since I'm traveling alone and for the first time, I didn't book any mixed dorm. I booked female dorms. So you have to see if those dorms have ensuite bathroom in it. Okay, like a lot of times you have common bathroom which is outside your dormitory, and then obviously it gets too crowded because a lot of people from other dormitories are also using the same bathroom. And the third most important thing is that you have to check for ratings. Now, since I am a female traveler, and if you are also a female traveler, you have to look for ratings given by female travelers. These female travelers will give you the best reviews because obviously we're more hygiene conscious and we're more sophisticated. You have to make sure that the hostel screams that it's safe and it's not like a party hostel as such, because you don't know what happens in a party hostel, right? The thing about hostel.com is that you can cancel your booking 48 hours before your date and you will get a full refund, and you don't have to pay the entire amount for booking. You just have to pay like a very tiny amount for your advance booking, and that too, if you want to cancel, you'll get like the full refund of your amount back into your credit card. If you're not planning to stay in hostels, you can also go for Airbnb and stuff like that. But obviously if you are planning solo, then hostel is a good place to stay because you meet people, you make friends, and you meet a lot of solo travelers in hostel. It's okay to stay in hostel as long as it is safe. Your hostel booking's done, you have the entire idea of where you're going, where you're staying, and when you're coming back, etc, etc. So like 50 to 60% of your work is done, and now you have to individually plan in each of these countries where you're going, how you're planning your entire day. One more thing that I would recommend you guys is that before visiting each of these countries, just check for tourist camps in these countries for particular spots, because since Europe is like a tourist space, so there are a lot of tourist camps that are happening. So you do not want to be scammed. Obviously, even if you go online or on YouTube, you will find several videos and you will find a lot of pages that will tell you about all these tourist camps. So you can just stay away from those tourist camps and be the smart one. And with that, it's a wrap, guys. This is how I planned my solo trip. Comment below and tell me if you are also planning a solo trip, or if you also wish to go on a solo trip someday, and what country you would want to visit. Obviously, I'm going to be vlogging the entire trip for you guys, and that's going to be up once I'm back from Europe. And meanwhile, you guys can follow me around Europe on my Instagram, because I'm going to be posting a lot of stories on Instagram, so you guys can follow me on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do not forget to give it a big thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!